Jerem.
Here.
Melton. Pauls.
Here.
Palermo.
Here.
Festerson.
Here.
Harding. Mr. President.
Here. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for our invocation today by Councilmember P. Festerson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So 2 things I wanted to note today. Today, June 19th, is the actual day of Juneteenth. As you all probably know, that was the celebration when the slaves in Texas first found out they were freed, a full 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. And we had a celebration here in Omaha, too, over the weekend that went very well, so we're thankful to those organizers also. And then secondly, I wanted to note that over the weekend, we of course had Father's Day, and we had a lot of fathers up here today and fathers in the room and fathers throughout the city. I just wanted us to read a little thing too that I received over the weekend about Father's Day. And it reads, "A good father respects and loves his child, patiently teaching them through words and example, helping them cultivate values and learn lessons along the way. Their loving presence makes such a positive difference in the lives of their children, nieces and nephews, grandchildren and neighbors. To those who help us define what it means to be a good dad, thank you." So we thank all the fathers in the city of Omaha. And I learned something new today, that we have a new father on the city council. Vinnie Palermo is about to have another baby.
Thank you. Try to keep OPS in business.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
An affidavit of publication is on file for the pre-council and city council meeting, and a current copy of the Open Meeting Act is posted in a white binder on the east wall of the legislative chambers.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this city council meeting. The council thanks you for joining us today. As a courtesy to those in attendance, we would ask you to turn off or mute any of your electronic devices. Madam Clerk.
Items 6 to 9 relate to the same project and can be considered together for Indian Point, located northeast of 189th Street and George Miller Parkway. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. Item 6, an ordinance to rezone this property from AG District to R4 District. Item 7, an ordinance to rezone this property from AG District to DR District. Item 8, a resolution to approve the final plat for Indian Point. Item 9, a resolution to approve the Indian Point subdivision agreement.
Public hearing on agenda items 6 through 9 are today. Proponents, please.
Okay, thank you, President Gray, members of the Omaha City Council. My name is Jim Lang. I'm an attorney at 13340 California Street, Suite 203. I represent the developer in this case, FRK Development. The principal in FRK is Frank Creechy. This is a 4th phase of Indian Point subdivision. This is a single-family subdivision. The council here approved the prior 3 phases. This is a single-family subdivision at 192nd and West Maple Road. So we appreciate your approval of the final plat and the subdivision agreement. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Moved and seconded to approve items 6 through 9. There are no lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Items 6 to 9 are approved, 7-0. Items 10 to 12 relate to the same project and can be considered together for Anchor Point, located southwest of 168th Street and HWS Cleveland Boulevard. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. Item 10, an ordinance to rezone this property from AG District to R4 District. Item 11, a resolution to approve the final plat for Anchor Point. Item 12, a resolution to approve the Anchor Point subdivision agreement.
Public hearing on agenda items 10 through 12 are today. Proponents, please.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the council, Larry Jobin, 11440 West Center Road, appearing on behalf of the development generally. This is phase 3 of Anchor Point that allow for an elementary school to be constructed on this particular lot by Bennington Public Schools. With that, just happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Moved and seconded to approve items 10 through 12. There are no lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Items 10 to 12 are approved, 7-0. Items 13 to 15 relate to the same project and can be considered together for George Miller Parkway North, located northwest of 177th Street and George Miller Parkway. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. Item 13, an ordinance to rezone this property from AG District to R4 District. Item 14, a resolution to approve the final plat for George Miller Parkway North. Item 15, a resolution to approve the George Miller Parkway North subdivision agreement.
Public hearing on agenda items numbers 13 through 15 are today. Proponents, please.
Hi, my name's Dawn Danley. I'm with DLR Group. I'm here on behalf of the owner, Elkhorn Public Schools, who's developing this lot for their new high school. So I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Mr. Hardy.
Just wanted to note, I was glad to see that we took a directional name for the school as well, too. I think it's going to be Elkhorn North, and great addition to the city. Thank you. Move for approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve items 13 through 15. No lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Items 13 to 15 are approved, 7-0. Item 16, an ordinance to create sewer improvement district number 1582 for the purpose of constructing public sanitary sewers within the project area known as 32 California, located at the intersection of North 32nd Street and California Street. A's communication from the Public Works Department.
Public hearing on agenda item number 16. The public hearing on agenda item number 16 is today. Before we begin, though, we wanted to let those who might want to testify know that we are probably going to place this on file. So with that, I'll open the public hearing. Are there any proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed.
Motion to place on file. Second.
Motion to place on file. It's been seconded. No further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0. Item 17, a resolution to approve a special use permit for Leslie Salvage, Inc. to allow scrap and salvage services in a GI district for property located at 6202 Orchard Avenue. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. B is documentation received from Dwayne Dowd.
Public hearing agenda item number 17 is today. Well, we're continuing. Or is the public hearing closed?
Public hearing
Public
is
hearing is
closed.
closed. Are there any, does the council have any questions or?
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve item 17. There are no further light. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Palermo.
No.
Nope? Okay. Right. There are no further lights. It's been moved and seconded to approve item 17. Roll call.
Jerem.
No.
Melton.
No.
Pauls. Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
No.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion failed, 3-4.
I thought this was continued today.
No, the public hearing is closed.
But we had an agreement, and then we reached an agreement.
It failed.
It failed.
But it was represented this morning, apparently, that we didn't have an agreement, but we did.
But it failed.
This proposal failed.
This proposal failed.
I'm not understanding anything. I was just. What? Oh, this proposal, so it was,
Yeah, this proposal failed.
all right.
Item 18, an application to consider a Class I liquor license for BH Hospitality Company, LLC, doing business as Mo and Curly's Pub and Grill in Howard and Fine, located at 1011 Capitol Avenue.
Public hearing agenda item number 18 is today. Proponents, please.
Ben Harrod of BH Hospitality Co.
Nick Gaffney, counsel for BH Hospitality Co., attorney here, 13625 California Street here in Omaha. Happy to answer any questions that the council might have.
Okay. Yeah, we would like, the public hearing, first of all, I want to make sure that there's no other proponents to be heard. Are there any other proponents to be heard? Are there any opponents to be heard? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. We have with us an email that specifies an agreement that you've reached in terms of back pay for restaurant tax. Can you go through that and assure us that what is in this email that you have agreed to?
Yeah, yes, sir. This was actually not the applicant or the company that's up for the license. It's on behalf of a couple of our minority
equity owners. This is a separate bar owned by them that this is that this issue came up for. And it is my same understanding that a sizable payment was made on that today, and a payment plan was reached for that other bar, affiliate bar.
There's an email, there are emails in front of you. If you go through that and make sure you're okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can confirm that that's correct.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. With the public hearing being closed, Mr. Harding.
I have a question. I saw the email come out before we came in, but I don't have a copy of it with me. But if my memory serves me correctly, to the are we paying? Or the city is, if you will, being shorted $6,000 as a result of having to go to a collection agency for payments. Is it my understanding that the city will not be able to recoup that either from the applicant?
This is the first time seeing of this email. So my understanding relative to getting that payment made and getting on a plan to payment is all true. I guess this part about the credit adjusters part of this email is the first time seeing of it as well.
Are they related parties in the ownership?
They have a 25% aggregate ownership interest in the applicant here today. No management control or authority or anything. They're a passive investor in this applicant, but they are an affiliated entity just by relationship.
I just have a little concern somewhere in the back of my heart that, you know, the city of Omaha is being shorted $6,000 because we had to send this to a collection agency for payments that weren't made for 3 years. And, you know, that's irresponsible.
I understand, Councilman Harding. I guess the only thing I can offer up is that, you know, that is a shareholder or an equity owner of our entity that's the applicant here today. But as far as our applicant goes, I mean, it's not a debt that's owed by it. It's some shareholders of our group, and I understand that understandably that you're inferring that through to our entity itself, but
there are some similar shareholders, correct?
They are, in terms of 25% of our owners are the owners of the other.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Harding, I think the parents are two of they're with the old company that has the fine. Okay, not this particular.
They have similar.
Yeah.
Shared relationship.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Pauls, you're next. So, and then Mr. Jerem. Yes, you're next.
I have a question from one of the attorneys. Does the issue come when you're 25.5%? Is that the difference in? I'm just curious because if you're a partner in 25%, I know it's not the same. I think if you have 25.5%, is that? Am I correct on that?
Yes. I'm sorry, you addressed that to me.
No, to the attorney.
Alan Thielen of the Law Department. I think Ryan Weeson will fill in on the liquor issue here.
Ryan Weeson, Assistant City Attorney. That is correct. Under Nebraska Revised Statute 53-125, classes of persons to whom no license is issued, there is a subsection on corporations, and it states, if any officer or director of the corporation or any stockholder owning in the aggregate more than 25% of the stock of such corporation would be ineligible. So you would need more than 25% for that rule to kick in.
So it's my understanding, as long as I keep myself at 25 or less, I'm sort of like the innocent person when there comes to debt in another operation with the same name.
For purposes of this specific statute only, I would say.
Right, but it would be smart for me to say, I don't want to be at 30%. If I'm 25%, I'm sort of out here on the side. And because the thing that upsets me is it seems like we are going to lose the city around $6,000 or maybe more. And I know it's a different corporation, or I don't know if I'm using the right word there, but I'm sort of safe if I'm at the 25%. But if I had been part ownership of this at 25.5%, it just seems to me that I'm trying to skirt the issue. That's where I'm coming from, and apparently not. But there is some logic in saying that as long as I keep my interest of the company at 25%, I'm okay. Basically, I can feel my past debts and some of these other things should not influence this decision on this particular.
Ryan Weiss, Assistant City Attorney. I cannot speak to the intent. I can only say that an individual who owns 25% or less would not trigger the limitations contained in Nebraska Revised Statute 53-125.
Okay, I'm just saying that's why I'm just a little bit suspect of there's money sitting out here that is been owed to the city for at least 3 years. We're going to have a like company coming in with the same business. It just doesn't have what I call the smell good to me. Enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jerem.
Council, would you mind if I address that just briefly?
Hold on a second.
Sorry.
I agree with the points that have been made here, but would make this distinguishing factor as I view this. The applicant's parents are owning a 25% stake in this business that we're considering today. The applicant doesn't own an interest in the parents' business as I understand it. So to me, while there is this 25% ownership interest by the parents in what we're considering today, the sins of the parents shouldn't really knock out, as I see it, this applicant's license application. It doesn't mean, though, that they shouldn't catch up with what the city's out in terms of what they owe for their business, $6,000 of which is a fee that the collection agency will now incur on that delinquency. But I don't think ultimately, as I consider your application, that I want to recommend no and penalize you for what your parents did. So, but I would say, are you the mom? That, you know, if when your application comes for renewal, from what I'm hearing today, you know, you might face a long form application. You might have your entity scrutinized in terms of concerns of your credit risks, financial ability to manage your business, all the factors we're allowed to consider in terms of whether we recommend renewal or not.
I will agree to pay that $6,000.
Yeah, can I have your name and address for the record, please?
Sorry, my name is Rhonda Harrod.
Yeah.
And your address?
5515 North 75th Street.
Thank you.
And I think, Rhonda, you would agree with the concerns that the two council members have previously spoken, saying this is a serious deal.
Right.
How it reached this point that it had to go to collection is a head scratcher to me, and concerning.
I can explain that if you like.
That might be a conversation for another day with the finance department. That thankfully they brought this to our attention that this issue was even out there, because you made the naughty list.
Right.
And not only just the naughty list, but the really naughty list of those who the city then had to refer to collection on. So, but ultimately, as I see this, and I don't speak for anyone on the council but me, is I want to give your son a chance. I like his concept, his business plan, and his entrepreneurial spirit to get his own start in building his own career. So with your representation that you will make the entire balance, square, I would be comfortable with moving for approval on this.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve items 18. Mr. Pauls.
Thank you. Yes, I do not plan to vote no. I just want to make people realize we are looking at some of these things that seem, just to me, just a little bit different. And I know people sometimes get into trouble. I'm not denying that. And like I said, I do plan to vote for this. But it just hit me when I think that the 0.5% kicks it over. And I know it doesn't in this particular case, but I'm just saying we're looking. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hardy.
I just had a question for clarification. I know that it was offered up to make up the difference of 6,000, but I don't know that we have the authority or is there a mechanism for us to do that?
The applicant's mom just said she was gonna pay it and make it straight, so if the finance department can accept the check.
All right.
Been moved and seconded to approve item 18. There are no further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
No.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 18 is approved, 6-1. Item 19, an application to consider a Class D liquor license for 1501 Nicholas Street LLC, doing business as Fairfield Inn and Suites, located at 1501 Nicholas Street.
Public hearing agenda item number 19 is today. Proponents, please.
Hi, my name is Danielle Dring of Smith-Slusky, 8712 West Dodge Road, Suite 400. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. Today with me is also Mr. Christopher Johnson, who is the manager of the same location. We'd ask for approval of the Class D liquor license to allow retail sales of alcohol at Fairfield Inn and Suites located at 1501 Nicholas Street.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve item 19. No lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 19 is approved, 7-0.
Thank you.
Item 20, an application to consider an addition to Restaurants, Inc., doing business as Taxi's Grill and Bar, located at 1822 North 120th Street, for an addition to their Class C liquor license for an outdoor area approximately 10 feet by 57 feet to the east.
Public hearing agenda item number 20 is today. Proponents, please.
Hi, John Wade, 16918 K Street. I'm the Director of Operations for Restaurants, Inc.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed.
Move to approve.
Ms. Melton, please. I'm sorry.
Hi, how are you? I just wanted to say I'm glad you're doing an outdoor area. I think that's great. And if any of you haven't been to Taxi's, it's kind of hidden back there off 120th and Blondo, but it's just a fabulous restaurant. And thank you for keeping that pot roast on the menu after you
Thanks.
came over. Anyway, with that, move to approve.
Thanks.
Moved and seconded to approve item 20. I'll probably be seeing you tomorrow. Moved and seconded to approve item 20. There are no further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 20 is approved, 7-0. Consent agenda. Any member of the City Council may cause any item placed on the consent agenda to be removed. Items removed from the consent agenda shall be taken up by the City Council immediately following the consent agenda in the order in which they were removed, unless otherwise provided by the City Council Rules of Order.
The public hearings on agenda items numbers 21 through 24 were held on June 12, 2018.
Motion approved.
Moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda for ordinances. There are no further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
The public hearing on agenda items numbers 25 through 42 are today. If you wish to address the City Council regarding these items, please come to the microphone, indicate the agenda item number you wish to address, identify yourself by your name, address, who you represent, and if you are a proponent or an opponent. These are for any of the items between,
Make sure they tell us the item number.
just tell us the item number, 25 to 42. And I think yours is, if I remember correctly, yours is 40 or 41?
We'll yield to the number. The agenda is in front of us. So
Okay.
whatever
okay.
number comes up.
Yours is 37. I'm sorry, item
Thank
37.
you. Speaking of item 37.
Okay. Name and address for the record. And
Mark LaFleur, Douglas County, 8920 Wyoming Street. Our family is here in representation of Kyle LaFleur, and we'd like to certainly get approval for renaming the street after Kyle. who we lost suddenly at the first part of this year. And forgive me. Don't forgive you. And I'll yield to my brother and the rest of the family.
Thank you.
My name is Kay LaFleur, owner of LaFleur's New Look Fashions, treasurer of Long School Neighborhood Association, vice president of 24th Street Corridor. I'm thankful for the opportunity to rename 29th Street between Ames and Fowler after my son, fallen hero, Sergeant Kyle LaFleur. Kyle represented so much to the community that his murder stirred up public outcry in a way in which I've never seen, and that's because of he represented so much hope for the community. He represented so much character. Everyone loved him. We had people fly in from Korea, Hawaii, all across the country for his funeral. It was a devastating blow to our family, and we would like to keep his legacy alive. We've renamed Reconnect after him at the Kyle LaFleur Employment Center, and we've relaunched the See It, Hear It, Report It campaign, as well as billboards throughout the city for Mother's Day, and we're going to continue that option of getting people to come out, people to speak up, put fear into people that don't speak up instead of being afraid to speak up for gang members and neighborhood terrorists. We just want to continue this. Of course, I have all his accomplishments in high school, his service, certificates, his awards, his promotions. I just think that this is going to be a good thing for both my family and his son and the community. I yield the floor to my son.
I just want to give correction. It was, my name is Gabriel LaFleur, stay on 4603 North 29th Street, and the correction is, it's Meredith to Fowler, not Ames to Meredith. It's Meredith to Fowler.
Oh, okay.
Correction, I'm sorry.
Why isn't it Ames?
That's not what we stated. But yeah, he was a great person, great father, brother, son, great friend, best friend. I just want to keep his legacy going and try to just do right for him. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. Pastor Bobby Loud, pastor of Believers Fellowship Church, located at 2761 Lake Street, resident 6112 North 78th Avenue. A lot of times, as throughout the city and throughout the country, we rename bridges, streets, highways after service members and also fallen soldiers. His accomplishments, it's not about his death, it's about his life. 7 certificates of achievement, 3 good conduct medals, 7 Army Achievement Medals, 3 Army Commendation Medals, tours of both Afghanistan, Korea, and received campaigns of Medal of Honor, Global War of Terrorism Medal, commissioned, a non-commissioned officer professional development ribbon, and also an armed service ribbon to be concluded with a national defense ribbon. So we are recommending and proposing the naming of this street. It's for individuals who have served and also died and represented the city in this fashion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else want to say anything? If you're not, then thank you. And thank you for your presentation. Bobby, I was hoping you would speak.
Just to say, Councilman, my daughter, Sydney Giddings, she really was the spearhead to get this moving, and I at least want the record to be reflective of that.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any other proponents or opponents to be heard on this? If not, public hearing is closed. Yeah, I'd like to say a couple of words. First of all, I want to thank the LaFleur family because, and I want to thank you for your courage. And I want to thank you for your patience. in working with the police department, in working with this city and others. There are no words to describe how difficult this must have been for you all, but it also is a testament to your strength and your courage and your faith and your willingness to continue to step forward and be a part of this community. Kay, you've been a part of this community for as many years as I've been here, I think, or probably longer. But I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you all. And you're in good company, because also the other person that we're going to hopefully approve today is going to be Bud Crawford, who deserves to be awarded as well for the work that he's done. But I do want to thank you all for the courage that you had, the patience that you had, and the leadership, because you asked for there not to be any retaliation. You asked for people to step up and say what happened. You relaunched a campaign to remind people that if they see something, they should say something. So from all of those perspectives, I just want to say thank you to the family. We all grieve your loss as well. Those of us who are council members here and those of us in the city grieve your loss as well. But we also recognize your patience, your leadership, and your willingness to step up and continue to be leaders in the community, Kay, as you have, especially with the 24th Street Corridor and the Long School Neighborhood Association and all of those things that you do. It's just a testament to the family and a testament to the kind of person that Kyle was. And I appreciate you being here, and I didn't mean to make you cry. But again, I just wanted to thank you, and if there are any other council members that wanted to say anything, but I did want to say a few words to reflect, our feelings about your son, about this incident that happened, and about the courageous stand that you all took. So with that, is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved and seconded to approve items 25 to 42. No problem. Always. From the heart, you all, from the heart. Items 25 to 42, there's been moved and seconded to approve. There are no further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Items 25 through 42 are approved, 7-0. Item 43, a resolution to approve the contract amendment between the City of Omaha and the National Safety Council Greater Omaha Chapter for the continued administration of a safety training option plan to extend this agreement for 5 years to June 30th, 2023. A is communication in opposition. B is documentation received from Patrick Vendetti. C is an amendment of the whole requested by the Law Department.
Public hearing is closed, and there's a amendment of the whole on the floor. Council members, what's your pleasure? Moved and seconded to approve the amendment of the whole. There are no lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding.
Yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0. Item 44, a resolution to approve a settlement agreement for Raymond S. Johnson.
Before you start, is there something else? Is there something you wanted to say? I'm sorry. Yeah, we closed.
Those already passed?
It was approved.
You know what? Why don't I give you a couple of minutes to speak, if you would, please?
I'd move to reopen the public hearing on the resolution.
Second.
Consent agenda.
Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo.
Yes.
Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
Your name and address for the
Okay,
record.
I got to put my glasses back
Okay.
on the description. I can't see. My name is M.I. Yah. I'm the president of Heartland News. I had 5511 North Ames Street, is the address, and I had put in the application to get the street renamed after Bud Crawford because of his achievements, and he's a big inspiration across the nation, but especially in the community with the kids and even with the grown-ups. So with that, that's what I'm still kind of, heart's still on Mr. LaFour's speech there, so that's about it.
I get you, and let me comment to you as well. What an inspiration but is especially in this community. For my colleagues on the council, I know he's been trying to purchase property because he wants to expand his gym so that he can get more young people involved in athletics and boxing. So notwithstanding his accomplishments, which are tremendous, by the way, but his giving back to the community is what inspires a lot of folks in the community. So thank you for making it.
And he's a good person, like all the way around, even outside the ring.
Yeah.
What he stands for, always polite. You can see him in the stores, Walmart, anywhere, no bodyguards. He talk to the kids, elder people. He signs autographs. Speaks. Real gentleman.
Yeah.
Real gentleman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we've already approved it.
All right.
We've already approved the sign. So,
All right. Thank
all
you.
right. But thank you for speaking. Well, we can close with that. The public hearing is closed.
Item 44, a resolution to approve a settlement agreement for Raymond S. Johnson versus City of Omaha versus Nationwide Agribusiness Insurance Company versus Megan Lenigan in the amount of $57,500.
Public hearing on agenda item number 44 is today. Proponents, please. Seeing none, are there any opponents? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Moved and seconded to approve item 44. No lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 44 is approved, 7-0. Item 45, an ordinance declaring the necessity of acquiring for use by the City of Omaha for OPW 53159, the 60th and Harrison Street Improvements Project, providing that the city negotiate with the property owners for land acquisitions, permanent easements, and temporary construction easements, providing that as to each specified parcel which cannot be obtained by negotiation, condemnation proceedings be undertaken and completed.
Public hearing on agenda item number 45 is today. Proponents, please. Seeing none, are there any opponents? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Next item.
Item 46, an ordinance transferring funds from unencumbered balances in the 2017 general fund budget of the City of Omaha 2017 year-end closing.
Public hearing on agenda item number 46 is today. Proponents, please. Seeing none, are there any opponents? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Next item.
Non-action items, items 47 through 53, do not require public hearing or city council consideration at this meeting, but will be placed on a future agenda for public hearing and/or vote. The reason for non-action is noted after the item on the agenda, as well as the date the item is expected to appear on the agenda for consideration.
Motion adjourned. So moved. Second. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0. Meeting is adjourned at 2:37.